Real Madrid visits Inter Milan in what is said to be a true Champions League match in which neither team can afford to lose the game. What's up, guys? Welcome back to El Merengue. I hope you're having a wonderful day. We're actually going to be doing the live reaction game to this match because it's going to be so big for Real Madrid's hopes if they want to stay in the Champions League. We're going to be doing that with my brother Ricky. And as a reminder, if you have not watched Atletico Madrid's reaction video after beating Barcelona 1-0, I highly suggest that you do. It was a pretty emotional one, especially with the whole Piqué injury. However, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this Inter pregame analysis. And let's just right off the bat, we know Inter is going to be going out there like mad dogs. They have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Right now, as of now, they're currently in the last place of the group stage, but they have the feeling, and I feel like every other team has the feeling, that this Inter can easily still win the group because they have the caliber to go ahead and win these next 3 games. With that being said, Inter is going to want to go out there, especially knowing that Real Madrid is feeling a little weak right now. Their game style is not really flowing too well. On top of the fact that they have many players missing, Inter is going to see this as a perfect opportunity to go out there in their own stadium and show Real Madrid who is the real leader in this group. On top of that, Inter is finally going to have the man that they were missing when they first met up against Real Madrid back in Madrid, and that is, of course, Romelu Lukaku. The man who has come back on fire from his injury. This weekend, he scored 2 goals against, I believe, Parma, a game that Inter was actually down 2-0, which I'm going to talk about as one of the keys for Real Madrid. However, Lukaku has proven to come back on fire. He is now 7 for 7 in the Serie A, already having scored in the Champions League, and he's definitely going to want to prove to Real Madrid that he is one of the top strikers in the world as of now. But now let's quickly transition to the keys of the game for Real Madrid. And the first one being to what I had already kind of hinted to, which is Inter's poor starts to games. It seems like the majority of the points that they have dropped in the Serie A have come to goals that they've conceded first because they have poor first halves, but then their second halves are very, very strong, which we're seeing. It was specifically seen in the game against Real Madrid, in which they went down 2-0, but then that second half they turned it on and they literally suffocated Real Madrid in their own half. Were able to score the 2 goals to tie it up, and then Real Madrid found that winner with Rodrigo scoring it. However, this was also seen this weekend in the Serie A, where they went down 2-0 to Parma, and it's been seen before against Milan and against a few other teams. So that's going to be the number 1 key for Real Madrid, which is to come out super strong. If they can get themselves an early goal, it'll be huge, because I'm going to talk about the lineup, the predicted lineup that I'm gonna put out for Real Madrid, and it's a lineup that's designed to just basically control the game and counteract Inter's basically attack. So it's not going to be the most offensive lineup, but it's going to be a lineup that can get the job done. However, with that being also said, it's going to be tough for Real Madrid to close out the game super strong. Like I was saying, that that's going to be one of the keys, because if Inter finishes the game super strong, I feel like it's going to be somewhere where Real Madrid lacks because of the lack of personnel. They don't have the best super subs, especially in the midfield, to keep up with Inter's high pace of game, especially because they have very strong midfielders with the likes of Raja, Nainggolan, and Vidal, who are very strong players. So it'll be interesting to see how Real Madrid can close that game out. Additionally, the next key that I'm going to bring out is the fact that we are recovering Casemiro, which is going to be massive, especially because Casemiro is a strong physical player who is going to be able to fight against the likes of, like I already mentioned, Vidal and Nainggolan, who are also very strong midfielders. So getting him back is absolutely massive for Madrid. He finally tested negative for COVID. However, equally as bad for Real Madrid is the fact that they are not going to have Karim Benzema. Karim Benzema, who got injured against Valencia. It looked like he was going to be able to recover during the international break for whenever Real Madrid came back. However, unfortunately, it seems like he's had a setback, and who knows how much longer he's going to be out, which is a huge blow for Real Madrid, our top scorer of this season and the previous season. Very, very big loss. And aside from that, without, it doesn't take much to know how big not having Sergio Ramos is to our defense. The amount of games that we've lost whenever we don't have Sergio Ramos is too damn high. And likewise, Valverde, in my opinion, the man of the match, the man of the season so far this season. So it goes without saying that we are missing huge players in our backbone. But Real Madrid is going to have to figure out a way to get past that. Zidane's going to have to figure out a lineup that is effective, that is competitive. And so I wish I'm gonna give you guys my predicted lineup now. I really wish Zidane would go for a lineup like this. In the defense, well, in goal, we're obviously going to have Thibaut Courtois, no questions asked there. Defense, thankfully, we have finally recovered Carvajal, so we have a much stronger right back, which definitely showed this weekend as there were plays that I think Lucas Vázquez would not have kept up with. Carvajal brings us a lot of defensive tackles, but going forward, he is huge with his crosses, with his vision. So Carvajal is amazing to have back. In the center back spots, we're going to have Varane, who had a pretty decent game this weekend against Villarreal, so hopefully he can continue on with that. And next to him is going to be Nacho, who also had a decent game against Villarreal. I think Nacho's the type of player that just needs a lot of consistency to get his performance back on track. So Nacho will be covering up for Ramos. Nacho is also a man that's not going to go crazy like Ramos sometimes does and going up. So maybe it'll help us out in some sort of way. And then on the left back, Mendy, super solid, super strong, has pace. He should be able to keep up with the fast wingers that Inter Milan has. In the midfield, so I'm going to be going with actually a 4-2-3-1. So it's a pretty defensive lineup. As those two holding mids, I'm going to have Casemiro, our rock, and then Toni Kroos to help the transition from bringing the ball from the defense to the midfield to the strikers. So especially from midfield to defense, which is something that he did very well this weekend, as he was actually dropping a lot more to receive the ball from the center back. So those two will be our holding mids. The three ahead of them is going to be commanded by Odegaard as a center attacking mid, who's going to do a perfect job linking that midfield to offense, and escorted by the wingers, which are going to be Asensio on the right-hand side and Hazard on the left-hand side. Both players who are not known for being very fast, which is where I see our attacking capabilities diminishing a little bit. However, they're very, very technically talented players who have great ball control and will help us in basically controlling that midfield. So now you see, when you look at that midfield, you see 5 very strong players. Obviously, Casemiro, Kroos, Asensio, Odegaard, Hazard. All of those are very good on the ball. So they will be able to sustain any high pressure that Inter's going to bring, which they're for sure going to have. And then up top, we're just going to throw out there Mariano, the only striker we have. Honestly, if I'm being honest, I don't really expect much from him. Don't really expect him to score. I just expect him to have high intensity, put a lot of pressure on that back line, and see what happens. Basically see what happens. So as you can see, guys, this is a team that's basically made out to weather that attack from Inter. Honestly, I could see us going without scoring a goal. But just like against Villarreal, we could get an early lucky goal perhaps. So this takes me to the prediction of the score. And for those of you that are new to the account, which by the way, if you're new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We actually have a giveaway, a season-long giveaway. Look, a Karim Benzema jersey, a beautiful jersey, which the only way you can win this is by commenting down below your score prediction. But it's not just for this game, but basically for the whole season. So the subscriber that gets the most amount of correct predictions by the end of the season will get this beautiful Karim Benzema home jersey from Real Madrid. So basically, guys, all you have to do is go down and comment your score prediction. So as for my score prediction, it's a very tough one, guys. It's a very tough one. I'm gonna predict that Real Madrid with this lineup, if Zidane is smart with this lineup, put something similar to what I have, I think Real Madrid can get the tie. A tie, like a 1-1 tie, would be pretty good. Yeah, I'm not gonna go any more goals than that. However, if Zidane fails to have a competitive lineup, then I don't think Inter is even gonna struggle too much in beating Real Madrid. So I think Inter could take the game 2-0. So it's all gonna come down to how Zidane lines the team up out there. And normally I'll end the video here, but because it's so much is at stake, I did kind of want to talk about what would happen if Real Madrid does lose this game. So right now on the screen, you should be seeing the current table, which is with Mönchengladbach up top, 5 points, followed by Shakhtar, Real Madrid, and then Inter at the bottom with 4 points. Now let's talk about what would happen if Inter wins, and at the same time, Mönchengladbach beats Shakhtar. So Mönchengladbach would go up to 8 points, commanding the group. Inter would go up with 5 points. And then we would have Real Madrid at the last place, tied in points with Shakhtar at 4. So obviously this leaves us in a very tricky scenario with only 2 games to go, and which would be against Mönchengladbach and Shakhtar. So now, for sakes of saying what would happen, we're gonna say that we're gonna beat Shakhtar, right? Shakhtar seems to be, after, even though we already lost to them, they seem to be the weakest, quote unquote, the weakest of teams out here. So we're gonna assume that we beat Shakhtar, which would push us up to 7 points. Okay, and then we're also going to assume that Inter beats Shakhtar, which pushes them up to 8 points. So now we see that Mönchengladbach would have 2 games left, one against Inter and one against Real Madrid, and then Inter would have 1 game left against Mönchengladbach with 8 points, And then Real Madrid with 7 points. So 8, 8, 7. Real Madrid being on on third spot with 7 points. Okay, so I'm talking a little bit fast because I don't want to make the video too long. So let's assume that Inter actually goes full on crazy and actually wins all 3 games, beating Mönchengladbach. They would go to first place with 11 points. Real Madrid would be forced to beat Mönchengladbach, meaning they would be forced to beat both Shakhtar and Mönchengladbach if they lose this game, assuming Inter goes on and wins the rest of the 2 games to go through. So if Inter also, once again, wins all 3 and Real Madrid were to tie against Mönchengladbach, then Mönchengladbach goes through. So guys, I just want to emphasize the importance for not losing this game. If we tie it, honestly, it's probably a great result. If we win it, obviously that's the best result possible. But tying it is actually a decent score for us. However, if we lose this game, we are in such a tricky position. And we would need Inter. We would basically not depend on ourselves anymore. We would need Inter and Mönchengladbach to start dropping points somewhere. It would get very tough. So guys, I just wanted to emphasize the importance for Real Madrid to win this game. If you enjoyed this video, please ensure you hit the thumbs up down below. Go comment with your score prediction. Hit the subscribe if you're new to the account. Like I already mentioned, guys, I will be seeing y'all tomorrow for that live reaction game with my brother. And for now, ¡A la Madrid!